So just starting my hike. Just left my car early in the morning. It's like 6:30, and it's a little chilly, but it's nice. We'll see you. When you're out hiking, there's not a whole lot to do. I hike at a nice leisurely pace. I look around, I look up, look at the sky, look for clouds, look for eagles, condors, anything else that's flying around. Here's the trail. There's a junction right there going up to Superior Lake. Sounds interesting. And then there's some sun. As you can see, I kind of stopped in the shade just to take a little break, grab the camera. But these trees that are fallen, obviously that's a big tree, but what fascinates me is underneath it, on the bottom of it, literally under it, which means it had to have been there before this tree started growing, are these big rocks under the roots. So I always just wonder how old those rocks are. All I know is those rocks were there before that tree was there. Just in case anybody was wondering, because when you're out on a trail, you got a lot to wonder. Let's move it. So I just want to talk about my pack a little bit. It's an Osprey 70 liter. It's comfortable, which is why I like it, and it gives me availability for the space, which when you have space means you put stuff in it. So it's easy to load your pack, but it's bigger than it's heavier for me, because fortunately I learned to throw out the useless stuff. But I have it packed evenly, properly, heavier stuff towards my body, and I actually have a bladder in this one for drinking. So I have the bladder on here. I don't always have it full. It's a 2 liter bladder. I usually keep at least a liter in there, depending on the stretch of water. I have a camera mounted on a peak capture clip. It's connected to my backpack. My camera's locked into that. It doesn't bounce, it doesn't move. I have to press a button to get the camera out of there. Works great. I've had it a couple years. Probably have several hundred miles hiking with it. I love it. Peak capture, good job. And the rest of the stuff in the pack we'll talk about as we go. A couple things that are obvious. Keep loose things tight so they're not flopping around, bouncing around. Because what will happen is that'll throw your balance off. And the last thing you want is to topple over And then somebody's got to help you stand up like a turtle. This section's a little uphill, so I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna catch my breath. We're hiking along. It's just cool because the conditions change. You're in rock, you're in dust, then you go through this meadow and you see the grass and flowers, and you know, you're in these deep pine trees. Sun, shade. And then it's not as rocky, it's more dirty, dusty, like dirt dust, mud. And it's like a forest. It's so cool. Except usually this is where all the mosquitoes hang out. It's a pretty dry year. And it's still kind of damp through here. Wonder what it's like on a good snow year. There's some Indian. Super cool. It's just so, everything's so different. Every turn of the corner, something different. Don't see any rocks. It's all mud. Here's some more flowers. Whoa. So now we have like desert sage. Very dry. Very rocky. Looking back down. See, if you remember earlier I talked about it was damp and dirt and mud, not dust and not rocky, and then a lot of green. So this is not like that. And I'm probably a half mile or so away. And then you got all this volcanic rock. I'm sure there's a proper geological name for it, but I will just call it volcanic rock. Super cool. I know that's rust. I'll call it rust. Or iron. Might be iron. There's iron in them there hills. So I'm coming up to the volcanic mine trail pretty soon. In about a half mile or so. Just slow going uphill, one step at a time. Keep hiking, keep hiking, keep hiking. And now I'm in the shade. That is pretty cool. That tree is growing right over that rock. It's on the back side, it's on the front side. The root ball is on both sides, right and left. That is pretty cool. So I'm on Minaret Creek Trail, and I just did a switchback just before the Volcanic Ridge Mine Trail. So I got some uphill to do, and that water behind me is amazing. It's hot, it's sunny, And that water is straight snow melt, and you know what that means. Time to go for a swim. All right, so I'm gonna show you. I went in the water. This is a Life water bottle, 1 liter. Smart water, same thing. You want a squishy bottle. As you can see, I have my Sawyer squeeze filter on there. Not the mini, not the micro. You don't save that much in weight. I added this tubing extension with a quick connect, because then I can turn it over and drink right out of it like it's a bottle, but it's filtered water. Nice ice cold water. Or I can walk over to my pack. I have a reservoir in here. I don't need to take it out. I have a quick connect right here. So I disconnect the quick connect. I plug in the tubing from the water filter. And then I turn it over, and then I squeeze it. A little bit of a lunch break. Dried out the socks. They're dry. Got all the gear out. I literally have the entire backpack unpacked. There's the pack. What was for lunch today? A little bit of Gatorade, some tuna fish with mayonnaise and some freeze-dried celery. I'm sitting in the shade. There's a big rock right there. Starting to sprinkle a little bit. Minaret Creek over there, flowing nicely. It's some beautiful springtime up here at 10,000 feet. Because of the harsh winters and the short summers, it's going to take a long time for that tree to grow. Getting some big raindrops now. And here's the afternoon rain. It's coming straight down. No hail yet, but it will. It might. Oh, can you see that? Yeah, there you go. I'm shacked up underneath a clump of short pine trees, and they're the small needles, so they pretty much offer dry shelter in this kind of rain. Hopefully it blows by, because I only got about a half mile to go. I don't want to have to get out my rain poncho for a half mile. Not a bad view. So I'm above Minaret Lake. I'm almost to Cecile Lake. And that's Clyde. Basically that patch of snow ultimately is where I'm going to go, to Cecile Lake. It's the highest lake you can go. The highest lake that there is. It's all uphill. It's pretty brutal. You're scrambling, you're using your hands, you're using your feet. No need for trekking poles. But you can see Minaret Creek coming out of the outfall over there. Unbelievable. These are the minarets. Alright, so I'm actually above Cecile Lake, and I didn't take the actual trail. I took the mountaineering route, which would explain why I felt like it was straight up and I had to use my hands. Either way, it was fun, and I made it to a spot that I probably wouldn't have came to. That's Minaret Lake here, upper, lower. You're looking at Mammoth Mountain over there. This starts the minarets, so I'm just gonna kind of pan through here. You gotta just appreciate the cliff. So if you ever wanted to know when I said it was straight up and down, or it felt like it was, the cliff kind of explains that it was. That is Cecile Lake. Cecilia. And there's Clyde. I'm officially at the base of Clyde. So out here in the Sierras, you can find many different types of terrain and surfaces that you're walking on. Most of it's rock, granite, or some form of that. You get some mud here and there, dirt, but a lot of it's rock. So I figured I'd take a quick video of this particular trail, which also doubles as overflow river, which means that it's got some nice big rocks in it. So watch your step, and let's go. So when you're done with a backcountry hike, everybody craves different things, but I don't know, this just looked pretty good on the way from where I was at. So I have 2 waters and a Coke, and then I have a box. Anybody want to guess what's in this box? I bet everybody's gonna say it's pizza. You're wrong. Let's just open it because I'm done waiting. You have a giant pretzel. I'm at the Yodeler in Mammoth. Woot woot.